TV good? We can't hear you. There we go.
David, I think your mic's struggling. I'll take over. Questions for Coach. We'll start with Scott.
Coach, just your general feel for that end of the game, and I'm curious your decision that led you to take Miles off the floor for the majority of that finish.
Well, I was trying to get him in at the well, let me go back here. It was pretty late whenever one of those challenges were occurring. I was trying to get him in there that last, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes on the clock. I can't remember the time. But then obviously you can't sub. I was trying to sneak him in as a sub there too. But to your question, probably should have had him in earlier, 5 or 6 minutes to go in that game. But I like the way that that group was playing. I decided to ride that group out a little bit. I thought Doug was making shots. I like Justin in there late, and then Malcolm, Victor, and Domas. But I'd have to go look back at it. I got to go look back and see the times and stuff of it.
Other questions, raise your hands, please. Jay Michael, do you have anything?
Sure. Coach, you guys allowed, I think, was it 15 threes? They shot pretty well from three-point range. I know that big three that Hield hit at the very end, that came off of a good defensive play. The ball just didn't bounce your way. What did you see in terms of your three-point defense, just, I guess, overall, and maybe where you're lacking in getting those stops, at least in this game?
Yeah, I thought it was the overall defense. They shot darn near 60% there in the first half. I think it was like 58%. And then they finished the game, 56%. So I just think we got to do a better job. We got to do a better job on the ball, just being more active there to cause our deflections a little bit more. So they just can't have their pinpoint, precise passes right into their shooting pocket. Kind of like a coach would pass it. But our guys are flying around, man. They're playing D. They're playing hard. It'll be better. That wasn't much fun tonight. And like you said, the ball didn't bounce our way. A couple of those loose balls went their way that we really needed. We just didn't get them tonight. We'll come back fighting tomorrow.
Tony East.
Nate, you say that wasn't much fun tonight. Do you just mean that you guys didn't make the shots you needed? They made the shots they needed. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, excuse me. It wasn't much fun. Meaning, like, I love the way that we started the game, but when I say not much fun, I don't mean like coaching the team and the effort that they're bringing. I just thought there was just a lot of plays that kind of hurt. Some shots that went in. I think they had there was 0.7 on the clock. I think Holmes hit a deep three from the top of the key. You just mentioned that last one. The ball's rolling on the floor there, and Buddy Hield hit that right corner three. So that wasn't much fun. I don't like to see our guys in pain. That's what I mean by not having much fun.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everybody.
Ready, Vic? Hey, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions for Victor? Scott, go ahead.
Vic, it's the second straight game where defensively you guys allowed a season high point total. Just generally speaking, what would you like to see improve upon on that end of the floor specifically?
We just got to do a better job of getting stops, man, and do a better job of sacrificing on that end. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, we in a position where we got to look out for one another, especially defensively, and we just got to talk better, and we got to communicate better, and we got to be decisive and be smart, and it's the little things right now. It's not really something that is major that we can't fix. It's the little things, and once we fix those, we'll be fine.
Pat Boylan?
Victor, you guys have played in an abundance of close games early in this portion of the season. What are you learning from your team, both positively and negatively, that you've seen in these early moments?
I think one thing I'm learning is that we're always in it, no matter what, no matter how much time is on the clock, we're always in the game. And just the small things down the stretch that we can correct. A few balls didn't really bounce our way tonight, unfortunately. But it's tough. I got to watch the film look, but overall, I think for us, it's the small things. Once we do the small things on defense, I think everything else will just flow.
Scott?
Vic, in talking about you playing in back-to-back, should we assume moving forward that you will not be doing both, or like for tomorrow, do you have intentions to play tomorrow yet?
It's tough to say. I got to manage my load, obviously, with my knee, and we shall see. But it's unfortunate. Obviously, I would love to play and help my team, but at the same time, I got to make sure I'm right. Like I said in the beginning of the year, so we'll see for tomorrow.
Okay. Anything from anybody else? Thank you, Victor.
All right.
You hear? All right. Pat Boylan.
Doug, you guys made that run to cut it from a 12-point deficit. You got even with a few minutes to play. Why did you sense you weren't able to get over the hump?
Just couldn't get some offensive rebounds or some defensive rebounds there at the end. Unfortunate that ball rolled to Buddy Hield and he hit that three. I thought that was kind of a big momentum shift, and we just put ourselves in that spot by not really defending at all. You got to give them credit. They made a lot of shots tonight, but our lack of defense definitely allowed them to get free and play free and loose. And we just got to clean some things up on that end and just continue to compete. And can't hang our heads because we got another one tomorrow.
Anybody else?
Can you hear me, Dave?
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, I'll ask one. Seems like Harrison Barnes was a matchup problem for you guys just because he's big and strong enough to handle, say, guys like, most of you guys down in the post, but he's also a good three-point shooter. How difficult was it? Because it seems like he really helped get them out on that offensive rhythm that they seem to have going throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great player, obviously. When they play small and he's at the 4 or 5, it creates problems because, he's a really good post-up, face-up, ISO player. And, we just couldn't slow him down. He hit some big shots there down the stretch. And, he's a strong guy and he gets to his spot really well. But, I think we still got to do a better job of, taking away, a lot of their easy looks. And, Harrison definitely got his fair share of them tonight.
Pat Boylan.
Doug, how different is it to play in this defensive system compared to last year? And how much of the early struggles can be pinned on early learning curves?
Yeah, it's different for sure. But we still understand some of the basic principles of NBA defense, and we just gotta keep grinding, man. Coach really emphasizes ball pressure, denying, just playing your butt off every single night. And I feel like we didn't really do that tonight. So it's on us. It's not on the coaching staff. It's on anyone else but us players because they put us in position to be successful, and we screwed up some communication stuff. Didn't clean up. They got a lot of offense rebounds, like I said earlier, and that's stuff that's on us. We got to do a better job of it.
Scott Agnes.
Doug, on a lighter note, what is it like thinking about TJ McConnell as a dad? And then also in terms of basketball, how much, especially in these road games, might you miss his energy, that burst off the bench?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're really excited for TJ. It was a big day the other day when Trace was born. So, we've all been thinking him, and, it's bigger than basketball. So we understand, we got to miss him for a few games, but we definitely miss him, man. He's kind of the heartbeat of this team. He gets along with every single guy, kind of connects everyone together. And we definitely miss him, not just on the floor, but on the bench, on the planes, everything. He brings such a good presence, and I think that's why he's going to be a great dad. So we're really excited for him and Valerie.
Pat.
Doug, when you're on the road in this COVID environment and you're coming off a loss and on a back-to-back, what's the key to staying ready mentally, staying ready physically?
You just got to flip the switch. Obviously some tough times right now. You're seeing around the league. You got to still follow all the protocols that the league's been put in place, and obviously with the CDC guidelines as well. So, we're going to bus up to San Francisco tonight, and we just got to turn the page. Everyone's going through stuff right now, injuries, COVID, yada yada. So we got to stay focused, continue to try and keep the 30th enemy out of us, and just continue to play basketball with some joy, and just keep grinding away.
Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, guys.
All good? You slouch down just a little.
You better hear me.
Yes.
Is that your
I can
house?
hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's back
hold
there.
on. Pat Boylan.
Hey, Domas, it seemed like a struggle defensively all night to find your footing. Was there anything Sacramento was doing that was throwing you off? How did you see it?
Yeah, we just couldn't seem to. I feel like we contested a lot of shots, but we just couldn't stay in front. We did a good job rotating, but they just did a great job of finishing, and then it just kept building up, and we couldn't really catch to like break them and build a lead.
Yeah, Pat, if you got another question, go ahead.
This is a 5-game road trip, and the circumstances, Domas, are obviously unique in this COVID environment. When you drop the first one of 5 and you've got another one tomorrow, what does your mindset need to be ready for the Warriors?
I think it's 5 games in 9 days, so we got to wash this one away. We feel like we should have won. We didn't, but tomorrow's a new game. They're playing really good, so we have to come out and work as a team and get this one to get our first dub on the road.
J. Michael, you got something?
Sure. Domas, was part of the defensive issues? It seems like were you guys confused, not necessarily confused, but like you were switching in certain situations. I know you got caught on Fox a couple of times out top. Probably wasn't the most ideal situation. You guys did some good switches here and there, but it looks like sometimes behind you there was kind of some confusion on should we switch or shouldn't we switch or that kind of thing, or should we switch back?
No, I feel like we had a plan. Coach wanted us to switch on some certain players, some players we wanted to trap. So we try to execute it as best as possible. They did do a great job of pushing the ball on makes and misses. So we just had to get back in transition, and find our guys, and that's what maybe sometimes caused the confusion. But we have to be better and get back on defense quicker.
Pat?
Defending the perimeter is obviously a group effort, and you know who you're going to play tomorrow can shoot the 3 very well. At times, that's been an area where you guys have struggled a bit in the early portion of this season. What would you like to see happen to lock down the perimeter a bit better?
We're going to have to do as a team effort, against Golden State every year. That's one of the best in the league, and we're going to have to do team defense, as best as we can, try and contain him as much as we can, and hope he misses, and we just go out and run and play our basketball.
One more, Dave?
Sure, go ahead.
Domas, your career, your minutes, are pretty high. I know Coach, and I know other teams do this too. They kind of scale back practices and allow you to play more in games. How do you feel, and especially now you're going into this back-to-back 5-game road trip, do you anticipate your minutes still staying the same, or is it one of these things where you wait and see how you feel and then kind of figure out from there what's the best for you?
Coach does a great job of having us prepared mentally and physically for games. So he knows that, we know that. So we on the court we come out and try and give it our all. At the end of the day, as players, you want to play as much as you can. You want to win. Everybody feels like they can help the team. So I feel like we're never going to argue if he wants to keep us playing.
Okay, thank you, Domas.
Thank you, guys.
Sir?
All right, we'll get started with Pat Boylan.
Hey, Malcolm, how much of the recent defensive struggles can be attributed to a new system and the natural learning curve there? And what specifically would you like to see tighten up on that end?
Our attention to details, I think, is the biggest thing. Being in our gaps, getting back out to shooters. I think our defensive schemes have proven that they'll work, but we just got to execute them. I don't think that side of the ball is on coach. I think that's on us. That's on the players. We got to tighten the screws a little bit on that end and pay attention to the details more.
Jay, Michael, you got anything?
Sure. Malcolm, in terms of, I guess you'll probably get this question a lot this year. You play a lot of minutes, most minutes of your career. How do you feel physically at this point? And do you see this as being something that you have to closely manage throughout the season, or you feel kind of good or comfortable where you're at? Because I think tonight you were at 37. I think you average about 37 to 38, and Domas is around 38, 39. So where do you feel physically?
I feel great. I'm doing yoga. I do these breathing exercises. I do a whole host of things I've picked up this summer. Just trying to understand my body, trying to get a better grip on it, trying to be more detail oriented and taking care of it and being more of a pro about it. I've changed my diet. So I feel good. This is something I think I can sustain. But I think it's also going to be one of those things where coach manages it. So, I'll probably keep my minutes high around, 37, whatever it is. But I won't be guarding the best player. I won't be guarding the fastest guard all the time. I think those adjustments will come later on in the season. But it's something I'm going to sustain because of the way I'm taking care of my body.
Do you think, can I follow up? Do you think the way also coaches manages when you guys aren't playing that kind of stuff, the practices, the length of practices, how that can positively maybe affect you and allow you to play more sustained minutes?
Absolutely. I think that's a huge piece of why I can go out and play those minutes and sustain it and play at a high level every night, is because the coach takes care of my body, he takes care of my teammates' bodies. You don't see guys on our team dropping like flies. You see that a lot around the league. But coach keeps us fresh. That's one thing he swore he would do from day one, and he's held his word on it. So, I think at the end of the day, there are going to be teams that have injuries and teams that go through sort of dry spells where guys are, on and off the court. I don't think we're going to have that this season.
Pat?
Can you speak to the challenge of trying to tighten things up on the defensive end, especially around the perimeter? When you're on the road, you've got a back-to-back, and you're about to face a Golden State team that has one of the best guards in the NBA.
Yeah, it's another challenge. We all know Steph is, if not, one of the greatest shooters of all time and one of the best guards in this league. So there'll be a lot of attention on him, but that's a good team over there. They're full of pros. We got to respect them. But defensively, that's where we got to make our mark, and I think for us, our defense will travel, and that's what we have to establish on this road trip. Getting stops to start the game and to finish the game. We got to get stops. And tonight we couldn't quite get that done. We started the game like that. We had dry spells during the game where we couldn't get stops. And then we got a few at the end and climbed back into the game down by 1 point, and the ball bounced in the other direction. And I think that shot Buddy hit in the corner was the turning point of the game. So just, we were a possession or two away tonight. And, on the road, it's going to be a few possession game, every game. That's usually how it works. So we got to get stops at the end of the game, and that's what we're going to try to do tomorrow.
Pat, do you have something else?
Yeah, Malcolm, I know it's a new year and a different team and a new coaching system, but you guys had a lot of success on these extended road trips last year. Is there anything that you can take from those successes last year and carry them over into this season?
Man, I think we just stick to it. We stay together, we stick with it. We're not a team that gets really down about a loss. We've never been like that. Especially with Nate, his energy is contagious. His positivity is contagious. His wanting and his wanting to win, and his willingness to adjust and change things and rest us and change defenses and make adjustments. That stuff is encouraging for us. So we follow his lead, and I think that's really going to pay off for us.
All right. Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Thank you very much.